So we're going to start seated. We'll do maybe 20, 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes of seated, and then we'll do some standing poses. So go ahead and if you enjoy getting up just a little bit on a bolster, do that. I find, even though I've been practicing yoga for 100 years, it seems like, I find I just find this is a better starting position for me than this. And I'm not really up very high, but you can see how this down here is kind of smashed in. And when I get up just a little bit, maybe you can't see because I got a baggy shirt, but there's a little more capacity to lengthen here. And so go ahead and drop into your breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, allowing the mind to follow the breath. And in past weeks, we've been talking about the diaphragmatic muscle of the breath and popping open the alveoli as you inhale and exhale, and the respiratory health with using the accessory muscles to help you breathe. And today I just want to shift to thinking about the connection between respirations and the nervous system. So when you breathe like this, these slow, deep inhales and exhales, it stimulates the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve. It runs out here, and vagus means wander in Latin, and it innervates the heart and also the viscera. And when the vagus nerve is stimulated, it slows the heart rate. So it's part of the parasympathetic nervous system. So you have sympathetic fight or flight, and parasympathetic rest or digest. And we want to use that breath to drop into the rest and digest, into our parasympathetic. So inhaling and exhaling. I breathe in and I breathe out, creating some distance between the hurriedness of your everyday life and this yoga practice. Keep breathing like this, and I forgot to mute everybody, so I'm just going to do that right now while you're dropping into your breath. And staying with that breath, bring your hands to the heart center, and as you inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And exhale back to the heart center. 2 more times. Inhale. And let's go once more. And then float your hands down to the side, lengthen. And as you inhale, think about expanding and passing that air and vibrating all up in here and exhaling down. So you want to think about compressing and vibrating that vagus nerve, stimulating it in that way. And the next time the right arm comes up, go ahead and hinge over and exhale back. and the left arm. So that same slow movement, stretching into the side bodies. And the next time your right arm comes up and over, stay here and breathe. And then inhale up. And coming over to the other side, stay here and breathe. And inhale up. And then bringing your hands right here, lengthening the spine and twisting from side to side. So to the right and center and left and center. And just keep going like this. And then come back to the center and reach with the left arm to the inside of the left leg. Bring your right hand behind your right hip, lengthen, and then slow deep twist to the right from the navel to the top of the collarbone, turning the head and look towards the right shoulder. And breathe in here. Making your way back to the front head, shoulder, chest, and belly. Do that 2 more times. Slow, deep twist to the right. And back to the center. And last time. Slow, deep twist to the right. And back to center. And bringing your hands right here. Inhaling as you lift up, look up. And exhale back down. 2 more times like this. And once more. And then bring your right hand to your right leg, left hand by the left hip, lengthen, slow deep twist to the left, navel, ribs, chest, collarbone, shoulder, head, and breathe here. And coming back, front head, shoulders, chest, and belly. And again, a slow deep twist to the left. And back to the front. And one more time, slow deep twist to the left. Breathe in here. And then going back to the front. And then go ahead and bring your arms right here. And as you inhale, lift up, look up. Exhaling back down. Do that 2 more times. And once more. And then go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together in bound angle pose, or Baddha Konasana. Sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead and hinge forward and lift back up. So this is a forward fold where you're stretching into the hip rotators. So just hinging forward and back up. And then sit up nice and tall here and move in some holographic waves, slow, deep, smooth, fluid movements. And a holographic is really, it's usually not a great big movement. It's little tiny, smooth, fluid, rolling, wave-like action. And it's slow. As if you're giving yourself a massage with your own tissue. And then go ahead and come back up to sitting. Lengthen the spine and just hinge forward and come back up to sitting. Hinging forward and back up to sitting. And you're just moving through this nice and easy. And the next time you hinge forward, stay here. Keep the spine long. And as you exhale, release from the tip of the tailbone to the top of the head, one vertebra at a time, breathing here. So notice any resistance you feel. You can put your hands out here to take some of the weight off of the hip rotators you're stretching. But you just want to notice the resistance and let the body gently tension that and see if it releases. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the ears over the shoulders, lengthen the spine, and come back up. And another round of holographic. And then bring this to a close, come back up to sitting, and come onto your mat on your hands and knees. Pad up your knees if you need to. Make sure that your wrists are wrists are under your shoulders and the knees are hip distance apart. And then you want your spine as straight as possible. So you don't want to be sway back like this to start, and you also don't want to be curved forward. Try to feel the muscles engaging. So you have to engage Uddiyana Bandha, gently drawing the navel towards the spine. And make sure the head is aligned in alignment with the rest of the spine. And as you inhale, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, rounding up into cat. And as you exhale, drop the tailbone, sink the belly, open the heart center. So keep going like that. And remember that vagus nerve stimulation we talked about, that when that nerve is stimulated, it slows the heart rate. And then the nervous system cues off that slow heart rate, and it says you're safe, and it will secrete neurotransmitters that put you in that rest and digest state to make you feel better, so that you're not on high alert all the time. So see if you can create this wrap and pack. So as you inhale, engage the root lock, draw the navel in, round into a cat. So you're kind of compressing into the vagus nerve. And as you exhale, lift the tailbone, sink the belly. There's a little whoosh as you come through neutral, and then there's another little compression as you come into cow. So sometimes when we first start practicing yoga, so just keep doing this, we wonder why it makes us feel so much better in our bodies. And I know I thought it was my imagination for a long time, that it was just me. I was the only one that felt that. But it's actually a biochemical response to the practice. So the next time you come into the cat stretch, move in some holographic wave. Again, try not to repeat the movement. Try to do something different. You can shift your weight back and forward and up and down and all around. Be slow about it. Get into any places where you know you hold tension, and then bring that to a close and come back into a child's pose. Now, reach your arms way out forward. And as you inhale, come forward, bring the shoulders over the wrists and lengthen in this Chakravakhasana variation. And then bring the hips over the knees, bend the elbows, come to a puppy pose, and then sit back into child's. Inhale as you hinge forward, engaging the root like the pit of the belly. Exhale, hips over knees, forearms on the mat in puppy, and back into child's pose. And just keep rolling through this a few more times. And the next time you come into child's pose, again, stay here. And if you want to draw your hands back a little bit, letting the elbows come out, you can. And then just shift your weight from shin to shin so you get this lateral motion into the knees and hips. And then bring that to a close. Now, draw your hands so they're so come up into tabletop and make sure that your wrists are right under your shoulders again, and reach forward with your right arm and back with your left leg. And you want to make one straight line like that, and make sure your head is part of the spine. It's not dropping down front. And then bring that right arm, left leg back, and then left leg, right arm. So this is also Chakravakhasana. This is just another variation. Sometimes it's called bird dog. And bring that back down. Right arm, left leg, and back to tabletop. And left leg, right arm, and back to tabletop. Now, keep your hands where they are and just come into this is kind of a different child's pose. You're curled more up into a ball. And then as you come up, shoot your right arm, left leg out into that bird dog pose. And then arm and leg back and into child's. Inhale, left arm, right leg, and exhale back. Inhale, right arm, left leg, and exhale back. Inhale, left leg, right arm, and exhale back. So now we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So if you like to do this pose at the wall, this would be a good time for you to go to the wall. I'm just going to tuck my shirt up so it doesn't go over my head. I tuck it in. So I like to walk my hands forward a little bit, tuck the toes in, and then you want to lift up and hinge back. So make sure your weight is not forward over the wrist like this, but you're reaching overhead. And the weight is over the heels of the feet. And let your heels come up as much as they need to. Getting your feet flat on the mat is not really a big deal in this pose. And tip the pelvis towards the thighs, lifting the sits bones towards the ceiling, and breathe here. And then roll through the balls of the feet. Bring your shoulders over the wrist, come back to tabletop, and then come to child's pose. Take a few breaths. And then again, inhale. Bring the shoulders over the wrist. So notice the hips are in front of the knees a little bit here. Tuck the toes under and roll up onto the balls of the feet. And this time come way up on your tippy toes, and then get your weight over the heel, stay up on your tippy toes, and then keep that down dog tilt to the pelvis and release, 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 and breathe here. Go ahead and bend the knees, come back to tabletop, and let's make our way up to standing. So I'm going to be facing the long end of my mat this morning. I'm just going to scoot it back, make a few little adjustments. There we go. And to release our arms a little bit, just bring your feet about shoulder distance apart, your arms down, and let's do this raincoat arms. And just let the arms kind of fly. You don't want to torque your knees, and you want to tap. Start tapping. So tap into. So tap right below the last rib, so that you're vibrating into the abdomen, into the place where the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, and even some of the intestines. You want to just tap into that, get everything vibrating a little bit, just moving stuff, and kind of releasing the shoulders, and then bring that to a close and just come back to standing and roll your shoulders forward and up and down the back. Do that 2 more times, and really take your time forward and up and down the back, and then go ahead and bring your feet into Tadasana, and bend your knees. And we're going to slide down and up. So we're stretching into the hamstring muscles without really stretching too hard into the tendons, because the tendons are a little slack because the knees are bent. Do one more time. And then come back up to standing. Take a few breaths. And then go ahead and bring your hands to the heart center right here. Inhale as you sweep up. Exhale, bend the knees, coming to Utkatasana. Inhale up and exhale to the heart. So keep going like that, inhaling to Utkatasana. Exhaling down the midline. Inhale up. And exhale. Make sure you're in the 4 corners of your feet. The arches are active. You want those knees to go straight forward and straight back, in line with the second toe. So this time we'll hold the pose right here. And inhale up. Exhale to the heart center. And then just take a few breaths. Now bring your hands low on your hips and we're going to hinge forward. Now the knees stay straight, the back stays flat. You're hinging at the hips, tipping the pelvis towards the thighs. Go one more time like that. And then come back up to standing and energetically push your heels away from each other. And when you do that, you'll feel the hip rotators, hip rotators engaging, and you'll internally rotate. So pressing the heels away, you'll feel your feet, your knees do this, kind of internally rotate, and then draw the heels towards each other. And there's that little external. Do that again. So the feet don't move, but energetically press your heels away from each other. You'll feel the thighs up here rotating in like this, and then draw the heels towards each other, and you'll feel them going out like that. Now, with your hands on your hips, push the heels away from each other as you hinge forward, and don't come very far this time. And then draw the heels towards each other as you lift up. Do that a few more times. Push the heels away as you hinge forward. Draw heels together as you come up. And you'll notice, so keep doing that, you'll notice those hip rotators are now helping you lift. You're getting some energetic push from that. So in addition to the bandhas, you're using this rotating of the hips. And go one more time like that. So now we're going to go into a full forward fold like that. So standing here, hinge forward, come as deep as you can in this half forward fold, and then release the head so you're looking between the knees. Come back up to the half forward fold and lift all the way up. So as you hinge forward, press the heels away from each other. Get as deep into your half forward fold as you can, and then release. And then lift back up to half forward fold, draw the heels towards each other, come up to standing. One more time like that. Pressing the heels away from each other as deep into your half forward fold as you can. And then the upper spine releases. And then back up to half forward fold, draw the heels together to help you lift back up. Step your feet apart. Bring your hands right here. Bending and straightening. So maybe I'm a little too far apart. Bending and straightening. So just getting this water element into the body. And, you know, earlier this week we had a big storm. There was a lot of rain. But there was also a lot of wind, and there were some pressure changes in the air. And there was some danger warning. And all of that is vata provoking. It provokes our ether and air elements. It makes us feel more scattered. So bend both knees, bring your weight onto your right, roll up on the ball of the left, and back through the center. So this is just an Ayurvedic or yoga way of describing some energetic shifts that you might experience based on things that are happening. And it's part of being human. And some symptoms of elevated ether and air or elevated vata would be things like feeling scattered brain, forgetting things, forgetting where you left your car keys, forgetting to eat breakfast. Sometimes some people get real chatty, they talk a lot. You know, if you get nervous and your vata's provoked and you might chat a lot, go ahead and lift one foot. And this watery sort of thing can help. It can help soothe that, as well as engaging the root lock, the pit of the belly, that can ground your vata. Any standing poses will ground that ether and air element. And also the breath, that slow, deep, vagus nerve stimulating breath. It will ground your energy and help you relax and just feel more comfortable. So if there truly is danger in the kind of lives we lead, it usually is not something you need to run or fight. It's usually something that you need strong problem-solving skills for. And those skills are not in the sympathetic nervous system, they're in the parasympathetic, where you have access to higher level brain functions. So I hope you've been lifting your foot. I don't know if I said or not. Just practicing the balance. So even though you're lifting one foot, you're rooting into the other foot, and you're engaging the bandhas, and you're employing slow, deep breaths. So you are training your body right here, right now, to balance that ether and air element. You're training that vagus nerve to respond to this, because the more you use it, the more wired up it is. And then when you need that in real life, it's more available to you. You can bring it on simply by slow, deep breath, or you could even do this practice for 3 minutes. Go ahead and come back to standing and see if you feel better. See if it calms you and makes you feel better. But if you wait till you need it, it might work. But if you've practiced and you've sort of greased those paths in your body, it will be much more reliably there for you. Now, go ahead and turn to face the short end of your mat, and bring your right foot forward and your left foot back. We're just going to do a little warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. So square your hips to the short end of the mat, and just bend and straighten the knee. So inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And the next time you come to warrior one, stay here and breathe. And then we're going to do cactus arms. So as you exhale, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, and bring the arms into this cactus position. And then inhale, lift up. So see if you feel the energy lifting to the top of the head here. And as you exhale, engage the root lock, the belly, and bring the energy into the navel center and down through the feet. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And the next time you come to warrior one, stay here and breathe. And then lower the arms, hinge forward, push off that back foot and step forward. And then see if you can anchor into the earth here. See if you can anchor into the breath. And then go ahead and bring your left foot forward and your right foot back. We'll do the other side. Squaring the hips, pressing into the feet. And as you inhale, bring both arms up, coming into Virabhadrasana one. And exhale. Inhale Exhale. Keep going. And this time, stay here and breathe. Keep the legs where they are, bend the arms and the cactuses. Exhale, engaging the root lock, the pit of the belly. Inhale, back up. Exhale, drawing the navel down into the core of the body, drawing the energy down into the navel center. And inhale up. Exhale, engaging the root lock, the pit of the belly. Inhale. Last time, exhale. And inhale, breathing here. And releasing the arms, hinging forward, stepping forward. And breathing here, noticing any shifts in energy. And then bring your hands to the fronts of the legs. Bend the knees, sliding down and up, hinging at the hips. Tipping the pelvis towards the thighs. 2 more times. And last one. And I invite you to make your way down onto your mat. And once you're down on your mat, go ahead and, excuse me for turning my back to you. Once you're down here, go ahead and hug the knees into the chest like this and just rock from side to side. And then flex the feet and press them up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the backs of the legs. And then point and flex the toes. And then make big ankle circles. You can hold your legs here if you like. And reverse, making big ankle circles the other way. And then go ahead and lower one foot and then the other and stretch out for Shavasana. Dropping into the breath.